Setting up the microphone, getting ready to talk about some brand new music on the Metal Meltdown. Bam, bam. Hey, while I have your attention, if you want to learn even more about this particular album from this particular band, check out a very special interview I did with Oceans of Slumber lead singer CAMMIE BEVERLY. It went up a couple of days ago. You should check it out. There will be a link in the description. Also, since I still have your attention, I presume, Metal Meltdown, Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2 drinking game this coming Sunday. Y'all have been asking for a live stream. You're getting one. Me and Anna, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. It's going to be good. Be there or be square. And with that out of the way, and also with the good microphone now plugged in and also turned on, I mean, the one in the camera is fine, but this one's just a little bit better. Let us officially begin! Hello, hi, how are you? Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the latest studio album from Oceans of Slumber entitled Where Gods Fear to Speak. Oceans of Slumber have been kicking around in some capacity for roughly 14 years or so, with this being their 6th full-length studio album overall, and their first with Season of Mist. But if you're anything like me, if your relationship with Oceans of Slumber looks anything like that of mine, then there's a good chance you came to know Oceans of Slumber back in 2020 with the release of their self-titled album, Oceans of Slumber. And with this album, as well as with 2022's Starlight in Ash, Oceans of Slumber have defined themselves as being a very forward-thinking and imaginative progressive metal band with doomy undertones and melancholic shades, and influence pulled vocally from soul and gospel music. The songs are consistently big, bold, brash, and genuinely beautiful, cinematic, thrilling, massive in size and scope, but with plenty of tender, intimate, powerful moments. And the vast majority of Where Gods Fear to Speak is very much the same. It is a lot of what Oceans of Slumber have been doing so well for quite some time now, but I want to emphasize it's not derivative, it's not one-dimensional, it's not generic. Yes, it's a lot of what we already know and love from Oceans of Slumber, but first off, that's a good thing. More of what I know of and love is, like, objectively good. And second, there are enough new concepts and flavors that have been mixed in, blended in, integrated, and emulsified in that it feels fresh, and it feels new, and it feels exciting. For instance, as CAMMIE and I discussed and elaborated on in our aforementioned interview here on the Metal Meltdown, Where Gods Fear to Speak functions as the soundtrack to a fictional, dystopian, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic film, but pulling influence from modern-day struggles and anger. In fact, CAMMIE specifically cited influence from Dune, Blade Runner, and we also talked about conspiracy theories and the advancements in AI and technology and the power that government, religion, and corporations have over people. The album is also sonically a bit heavier than 2022's Starlight in Ash, pulling more influence from melodic death metal, as well as bringing in special guest contributors from Dark Tranquillity and Moonspell. And overall, though I do still really enjoy the self-titled album and Starlight in Ash, and while I still do really highly recommend you check out those albums as well if you have not already, I will argue this is more refined than those albums. It polishes and kind of sands out all the rough edges present on those albums, and it just feels like a more cohesive and complete product. You've got the opening number and title track, Where Gods Fear to Speak, which does a good job at showing you kind of what you're in for throughout the rest of the album. It's robust and dynamic and powerful, showing off a variety of complex grooves and battering rhythms and tasty melodic licks, and also contrasting that and combining that with rich, sultry, soulful vocal displays and pyrotechnics. It just does such a great job at immediately grabbing and rewarding your attention. I specifically really like this kind of transitionary sequence and section, kind of a breakdown of sorts, with these different electronics and kind of guitar licks winding in and out of the forefront of the sound, creating this very intriguing kind of effect and feel and atmosphere with some like grunting, whispered vocals, and then eventually that kind of blossoms into some very melancholic, emotionally charged, cathartic prog metal with some doomy undertones. Then there's the following cut, Run From the Light, which kind of takes the baton and charges off into brutal territory, almost going into At the Gate style melodef with some very stark, chuggy, metallic riffage and barking guttural vocals. And I do really like and appreciate how this is woven into some more aggressive, theatrical, and bombastic prog metal songcraft, chock full of heart, soul, and emotion. Just, also a little bit more brutality. I'm even liking some of the more operatic kind of like vocal tricks and tactics that CAMMIE kind of gives us at certain points, Impressively, though, things get darker and heavier later on with Poem of Ecstasy, which I guess you could semi-safely describe as melodic, progressive, gothic, blackened death metal, kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know. I mean, Oceans of Slumber have always been kind of difficult to kind of pin into one specific genre corner, and this song is proof of exactly why that is or would be the case. It has towering walls of blast beats and blackened riffs, and it has soaring licks and guitar melodies, and, it is lush, and it does have these very intimate, quiet moments, and it does have howling vocals, and it is full of heart and soul. On the flip side, you have The Given Dream, which initially feels like a more stripped-down, bare-bones, vocal-driven, kind of doomy gothic ballad of sorts, with CAMMIE obviously being at the forefront of the sound, with some more agonizing, anguished, nervous, pain-stricken vocals. Prayer is an interesting cut as well, borrowing a lot of influence from early to mid-2000s Opeth, with some more extreme kind of progressive death metal outbursts, but also some more tender, intimate, acoustic-driven sections, featuring Michael Stein from Dark Tranquillity also on vocals alongside CAMMIE. And his raspy cleans combined with CAMMIE's very soulful tones create some nice, rich, romantic, genuinely satisfying and nice and warm harmonies. Like, it's just nice, man. I want to pour myself a glass of wine and just cuddle up with this section of the song. Love the dazzling, twirling synths and keyboards of I Will Break the Pride of Your Will as well, and don't even get me started on the 8.5-minute opus that is Don't Come Back from Hell Empty-Handed, filled and just cram-packed of detail and so many great progressions and riffs and melodies. Like, I could spend an entire video just talking about this song. And the use of a cover of Wicked Game, originally from Chris Isaak, as not just the album closer, but also the credits song within the context of this post-apocalyptic movie soundtrack, is really interesting, really cathartic, ends this thing on a warm, tender, nice, powerful note. Production-wise, this thing is damn near immaculate. Everyone sounds great. Everyone sounds like they're having a fucking blast. CAMMIE especially killing it. Still one of the best singers in modern rock and metal right fucking now. And I'm not just saying that to be nice. I'm not just saying that because she was literally just on the channel a couple of days ago. Holy shit, she's killing it. Honestly, I'm feeling a strong 4.5 out of 5. The closest thing to a nitpick or a negative that I have is maybe the gutturals. Like, they do sound a little dry. They're just not as effective. But, overall, it really is an incredible album, cram-packed with incredible moments. I would happily make the argument that this is one of the best things that Oceans of Slumber have done to date. I would also very happily make the argument that this is one of the best progressive metal albums of 2024. It's diverse, it's dynamic, it's immediate, it's immersive and accessible and powerful, and it's a great fucking record, nay, an incredible fucking record. Dare I argue? In fact, I am arguing. What more can I say, man? 4.5 out of 5, incredible. Oceans of Slumber knocked it out of the fucking park with this one. Definitely check it out. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? Thank you for watching. Look, Oceans of Slumber interview. Look, something else. Look, subscribe. Wow. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.